Hey, how's it guys? It's Juan Claasen here and welcome to another one of my episodes. This time we dive into the company called CottonPro. That's due to the fact that I recently got my hands on a couple of their goodies, and therefore I'd just like to tell you a bit more of their products, their company and so forth. So basically CottonPro was established in 2007 and is now a leading supplier of all fishing cotton in South Africa. They obviously don't supply direct to the public, but therefore you go down to your local fishing tackle store and have a look at their products and buy a couple of them. If you'd like to order from them, if you are a tackle store or so forth, their cell phone number is 082 411 2415, and they have a website at www.cottonpro.co.za, and email address is cottonprosa@gmail.com. Right, so as you can see in front of me, I got a couple of their products which are just stacked out. I unfortunately don't have all the products with me now, so for those that I don't have with me, I'll just mention. But I'd just like to tell you a little bit more about the two different kinds of cottons, as well as the thicknesses, which baits they cover, and what kind of fishing purposes and so forth. So, as you might be all aware, the one type of cotton is the latex cotton. They come in these small spools, as well as the little bottles, and also the bottle with the rotating inside. So latex is a lot more stretchy than the more older cotton, which we will cover in a bit. So this is actually quite a nice cotton. I prefer fishing with this cotton. It's obviously a more advanced new technology, so it's quite nice. And then the other one we have is also the lycra cotton. So the lycra cotton, you'll see it's probably one of the first cottons that most of us started fishing with as a kid. It's almost like literal sewing cotton, so it's not that stretchy, even though it's got some stretch, but it's like very materially, so it's not quite plasticky, which is obviously got its purpose and so on, you know. So when it comes to the different thicknesses, CottonPro's cotton comes in extra heavy, heavy, thick, universal, medium and thin cotton. There again, each one has their own purpose. So obviously the thicker the cotton, the harder it will clamp down and hold onto the bait and apply pressure, so that when you're casting a bigger kind of bait, then your extra heavy, heavy, thick cotton won't allow the bait just to fly off the hook. So a lot of the shark guys, they would probably be looking at the heavier scale of cotton, which is your extra heavy, heavy and thick cotton. And then your universal cotton, it's this one over here, which is your orange one normally. Sorry about that. Yeah, this one you'll find most likely on the boats, and yeah, this is quite a universal cotton, literally. It's good for your pilchard, mackerel, bonnies, yellowtail, chokka, shad, stripey, cutbaits, crab, red eye and so forth. Then another kind of thickness is your medium thickness. So this is like your everyday kind of cotton for your rock and surf fishing, fishing a medium size bait, which is like a pilchard, chokka, shad, stripey, white mussels, crab, cutbaits, red eye, red bait. And so that's one of the cottons I like to use, if not the universal. And then lastly, you've got the thin cotton. So thin cotton is for your light rock and surf, gully scratching kind of cotton, also for a variety of baits such as pilchard, prawn, chokka, blob baits, worms, red bait, white mussel, red eye. So for like finicky feeders, for example your bronze bream or your white steenbras, that get quite skittish when they detect like something foreign. So this is definitely the kind of bait I would be using over there. Then the lycra cotton, as mentioned, it's not as plasticky. It's like just like almost like a sewing material. So when you use this cotton, it will also be nice for like delicate baits, for example your worms and so on, like baits you don't want to have basically shredded up by your cotton. And you know, it's actually got its purposes, even though a lot of guys don't fish this kind of cotton. It's definitely one to look at. I think it's quite a discreet kind of cotton, so for like your, once again, your finicky feeders and so on, definitely the kind of cotton to consider there. And once again, it comes in a variety of thicknesses, that one being the thin, you get the thick and the medium. So yeah, basically as mentioned before, they all come in different kinds of spoolings or bottles. So that one's just a regular spool on its own, this one is a spool in a bottle, and this one is also a spool in a bottle. But this one's quite nice because this one you can hold in your hand and then you basically wrap it around your bait, which is quite nice. It's definitely one I also like to use, and you can just throw it down without worrying that it's going to be tangling or anything like that, because it's got that cap on the end that prevents the cotton from falling back into the bottle. So I'm sure this one most of us are familiar with. This is the cotton that comes out of the pill bottle. So this one, when you pull the cotton, it also spins on the inside, and this one's nice because when you put it down, it doesn't roll around or stuff like that, and you can actually, like most of them, mount it to your rod bucket or your bait bucket and so forth. CottonPro actually sells a aluminium bracket that you can mount to those various equipment. So also another thing to look at when it comes to CottonPro. So yeah, if you like this video, please like, subscribe and share, and head on to one of your nearest fishing stores and definitely grab one of CottonPro's products and tell your mates all about it. Thanks, hey, cheers.